are partly umbrella terms. Okay?
Partly umbrella term. Can you prove that? Can you prove that?
Partly umbrella terms. This is not something that you prove. This is something that is
Yes, it is.
observed. No, wrong. This
Observe
is something
how
that is observed through practice. It is
through
something to
practice.
describe a situation. Okay?
Describe a situation. Interesting. So, what's going to be the theory of truth for this?
What did you say?
Yeah, what's going to be the theory of truth for this? All I hear
Do
is
you know what
claims,
theory
claims,
means?
claims. Yes, I know what a theory. Do you know what a theory of truth is?
A theory is a hypothesis that has been proven
Oh, okay. So here's where,
true.
bro, you are like you literally take
That
you
is
hear
actually okay. Let
one
me let me
part.
cite my
Do you
sources
not know
then
what a
because I'm using
theory
sources.
of
It
truth?
is the scientific. That is the scientific method. That is the scientific definition. Widely agreed upon scientific definition for theory.
Yeah,
You are
unfortunately,
going to
you're
talk.
only
You are going
hearing
to
one
say
part
one
of the
moment, one moment, one
sentence.
moment.
You
You are going to
read
get one moment.
more.
I'm not done talking. If I may, please. You are going to talk about our conversation is deeply abstract, but you are going to ask me to prove, which I can do, prove the definitions of what I'm saying.
Yes, yes,
And which I have
using
already
logical
explained
reasoning.
to you, which I have already explained to you, I have derived my definitions through observing and diagnosing effectively
Diagnosing. It's
situations I've been
interesting.
in.
It's interesting that you do this. It's interesting that you take that type of core because if you were to say that, then you'd be working under correspondence theory. Because you hear
I
theory and
wouldn't.
you're
No, no,
like,
no. That is a.
yes, that's literally what the
You are
definition. Look
moving the
in the side
goalpost
chat.
so hard
How
right
am I
now.
moving the goal? How am I moving the goalpost?
If I
What's
was,
I?
if
I
I
asked you.
actually no,
I
you're not
asked you
moving the
the
goalpost.
theory.
You
I'm.
are simply misunderstanding.
I
If
literally
me
asked you the
saying this
theory
does
of
not mean I
truth.
have to be doing anything.
You wait. Okay, so if I like Hitler, I support Hitler, and I do Nazi things, am I not then by definition a Nazi? Do wouldn't I not correspond to that definition?
I would agree. You are a Nazi.
Okay. That means that when we do actions, and these actions are going to be correlated to some type of a definition, then we would fit that definition. Your explanation of
I
what
would
you just said
agree with that
corresponds.
definition. I no no no. One moment. You have proven nothing, by the way. I am
Oh,
simply
what?
agreeing with you.
You literally just agreed to my conclusion, and my conclusion
I
just
no 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 no.
literally.
It was not a conclusion. You are jumping to conclusions way too fast. You don't have half the
What?
amount of information you need in order to conclude something. I was simply
Literally,
agreeing with that one definition that you proposed.
if
I
you
agreed with that.
agree
That does
with
not
that,
mean I agree to
pause,
the process
bro,
of
bro, bro, bro,
all of this, bro. What are
bro.
you talking
If
about?
you, bro, you do realize that if you agree to X and Y is has a conditional for
I was
X
not
to be
agreeing
true,
to
then you
X and Y. That is
automatically
not true. That is
no
not true. This
agreeing to X
that is
automatically
also
agrees
a
to Y.
horrible that is a horrible example to compare what
That
we're
is a
doing right now to
really good
math.
example.
No, no, it is a
How?
terrible
Why is it
example because
mathematics?
as I've
Why is it?
told you, no, you are
This guy's such an idiot. Hold on, wait. I'm just like, this guy's such an idiot. He thinks that variables can only be mathematic. What the heck? You only think variables can be mathematic? That's stupid. Variables are variables. They can be used within any type of formations. Why do you think it's only mathematic? Go ahead. Because you can use variables in anything.
first of all, the term X and Y is derived
But
from math.
it not necessarily.
Yes,
Realistically, the
yes,
term
look it
X and
up.
Y are derived
Look
from
it up.
language.
It's freaking dude. Mesopotamian.
Okay,
Look it up, please.
Mesopotamian. Interesting. Can I see a source for this? Because it said it could be derived from
I
math, but the mathematics
first
and
of all, one moment. There's a few things I need to talk about. First of all, I don't need to teach you
source.
history right now when you have
I
Google.
have I
Second
sent
of all,
scans.
s
I sent scans for my things in the side chat. You still haven't looked your brain dead, Holy.
what are you talking about? First of all, I agreed with one of your definitions. That
Yeah,
does not mean
agreeing
I
to that
agree with all of
definition
your definitions.
automatically. Wait, you do realize that agreeing to that definition automatically just renders half your arguments invalid because in order for
That
those
is
arguments
not
to be,
true because you
that
are
is how
not
that
even
works.
hearing what I'm saying. Do
That
you
is
know
how
what
that
I'm saying?
works.
Tell me what I'm saying. Tell me what I'm
Uh,
saying.
you're gonna be your argument just works on a correspondence theory because you quite literally said that you derive your definitions from things in which you observe or in which that you have some type of ontological qualia within the experience. What is that? What is that? What a theory of truth resonates with that? The correspondence theory. Which is my entire argument. My entire argument that is that if you're going to be doing these type of things correlate to some type of definition, then therefore you would be that definition. Like I said with the Nazi thing, if you agree that being a Nazi, doing all these Nazi things would make you a Nazi, then therefore doing things within real life would correlate you to some type of definition. So it's like you
So,
can't you
okay,
can't disagree that if I were to play video
first of all,
games,
wait, one moment. I will agree with you on the basis that deriving definitions from widely observable things in life, there is a level of subjectivity to that because there is
there's a level of
interpretation.
interpretation. Interesting.
Yes, you know you interpret everything that you see, right? Anything you perceive, your brain will automatically interpret that.
Okay,
You
but the
are wrong.
problem Okay, but the problem is that still doesn't defeat correspondence theory because we just be corresponding whatever actually happens within the real world. Because if you were to assert that, then that means that no definition is true.
Okay, what who do you think made up the definitions of the word? Actually, no. Who made up the definition of the word semantic?
Who made the definition of the word semantic? That's very interesting. Let's see who created the word semantic. Semantic, the word it was Michael Briol. The word semantic
So
was
one
first
moment.
used in Michael Briol, a French
Okay. So
philosopher.
how did Michael Briol come up and label the word semantic and define it?
As the word semantics was first used by Michael Brial, a French philologist, a language historian, in 1883. He studied how languages are organized and how languages change as time passes. As a connection within languages, gen area speakingly. Semantics is the study of language and its meaning.
Okay. So how do you think though? That actually didn't answer my question at all.
Uh,
How did he define that? Do you think it was just the omnipotence that he came up with the word, that his omnipotent power was able to just this is what this
that
means?
analogy sucks as bad as Nick Fuentes' hairline. Oh my god.
There was
You do
no
realize
analogy there. There was no
that
analogy there.
literally isn't that was an
How?
analogy. Okay.
How?
That metaphor.
There
You
was
can
no
have it. Metaphor.
metaphor. There was
That was
you,
a
bro.
metaphor.
Do you have earplugs in? There
I
was no
do.
metaphor.
That was literally you quite
Where?
literally
Where was
the
there a
recording.
metaphor? All I
The
said
recording.
is that,
Yeah.
bro. All I said was that when Michael Briol made up the definition, do you think it was just omnipotence that he was able to just like, oh, this is what this word means now? This will forever
He
mean this
created
because
a word.
I invented
You
it?
do realize that you can create a word, right? Anybody can create a word and give it a
I'm aware.
definition.
But I'm saying right now, do
Oh,
you
if
think,
you're aware. Hold on. Hold on. You do
bro,
realize that? Hold on. Wait. You just like defeated your entire argument. You do realize that if you agree
dude,
that you
oh
can
my
create a
gosh, you
word and
actually
give
are
it a
deaf.
definition, how am I deaf when you're the one who doesn't even know what a correspondence
First of all,
theory is?
bro, you know I am just simply asking you a question right now, right?
False. You make false. You know what? Sure. Go ahead. The problem with your
I
question.
literally asked you a question. I asked you, do you think because he made up the word that he was able to just define it and make the permanent definition?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how making words work. That's kind of how that works. Like for
Okay,
example,
okay. So how do you think he came up with that word?
how do you think he came up with that word? You just put it together. Semantic doesn't have any extra roots or anything. He just made like for example, I could make
But I'm
the
saying,
word.
how did he make it up? Other than putting down SEMAN, etc., how did he come up with that word?
You just came up with it. You like like
No.
it doesn't
Through
it doesn't
observing
need
things,
observing. Wait,
and coming through
brother.
observing things and his own experiences and deriving an,
So
a
correspondence
conclusion from that.
theory. That's so
And
correspondence theory.
okay, enlighten me. I don't know what correspondence theory even means. What does it
I
mean?
literally I sent a screenshot of what correspondence theory
Bro,
is
I am
in
not
the
looking at
side
the
chat.
chat right now, bro.
Oh well, that's your fault for not looking at the evidence that I sent. That just means that you're incompetent and that you're ignorant. That's what that
How
means.
ignorance,
How ignorant is because I
bro.
sent scans of what I am saying to prove my statements, and you
Dude,
On recording, by the
okay,
way.
first of all, I took one look at what you were saying, and it was like
Yeah,
from the fucking Gemini from Google.
Gemini. Okay, Gem. I mean, I
That
can
is
pull the sources
embarrassing,
from
bro.
that. I
You
can
are
pull the sources from
trusting
that.
Google right now. And
I'm
also, why
trusting
are you acting
Google.
like, and also I'm trying to ask you right now. There
I'm
is
trying to ask you right now. Why are you stuttering?
why do you think that why do you think definitions exist?
What do I think definitions exist? That's very interesting. Well,
You
since
are
you
like
seem
a
to be some
poser.
type of since you seem to be some type of semantic anti-realist, of course I'm a semantic realist, which means I think that definitions exist in order to help us better understand the world, or at least things that exist
Exactly.
or could exist.
Exactly. Exactly.
What?
So I'm saying right now, so I'm saying it is therefore subjective because of changing the definition of something a little bit or coming up with my own definition helps me better understand the world. That is my definition.
Okay, but
Okay?
unfortunately, your definition could be wrong. Okay, wait. Okay,
Wrong
so
as in, but why would it be wrong if it's helping me understand the world?
because your
If that is the
understanding would be
definition of
wrong.
definition.
Your understanding would be wrong. No, yeah. That's the circular problem with that.
So, okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
you think, okay, one moment, circular, circular, circular. One moment.
circular problem. Circular.
Understanding, I'm saying that it would be disabling me by using the current definitions of things to understand things. So you think that by doing that, it would affect the way I understand that, and it would
Hold on,
harm the way I understand
hold
that.
on, chat.
But I'm saying right
What do
now,
you?
a lot of the
What is the
times
definition of a
when
gay
I make,
person?
one moment, wait, what?
Yeah, what is that? Hold on, wait. I'm gonna defeat your entire argument with this. What is the definition of somebody being gay?
There is no definition to that.
There is no definition of somebody being gay, so there's no definition of
That
somebody being
okay, the
gay.
definition of being gay, attracted to the opposite race, I think, or
Eh,
opposite gender,
Opposite gender.
yeah.
Interesting. So if you were to derive if you were to derive the definition of gay to being attracted to the gender which is opposite to yours, because you meant to say same sex as yours, then would that be gay by definition?
What do you mean?
Would that still be? Yeah. So
Rephrase what you just said.
if the definition of gay, as you say, is being attracted to the same sex, and you were to make a new definition of gay that was attracted to the opposite sex, would that thing still be gay?
First of all,
Oh,
that is
so
a
no. No. You can't run away from
wait.
this.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
You could be
All I said is
denying.
first of all, stop being such a giddy piece of shit, bro. I'm just talking. Like Jesus H Christ, bro. First of all, the that is an already existing word being applied to an already existing thing.
Oh,
So what I'm saying here, heterosexuality already exists.
everything
Being
makes sense.
gay already exists. So here's the thing. I would say you're incorrect if I took the word chocolate and applied it to soda. Because those are pre-existing nice contradiction. What are you talking about?
Yes, it is a contradiction with your
How's it
previous
a
argument
contradiction?
because your previous argument did dictate whether or not these things had some type of ontology. That's why.
I never specified. I never
Oh,
specified.
you never specify, which means you have to take the position that you can only use your little worldview on things that don't already exist. But if
That's
something
not what I'm
does exist,
saying. That is exactly false of what I'm saying. You misunderstand what I'm saying.
everything's
100%.
recorded. We can look back at the recording
No,
because
no, no.
that is
I'm
exactly
saying
what
you
you're saying.
probably heard me correctly. I'm saying you misinterpret what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Yes, you can re-watch it 1,000 times. You still misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm saying that you don't need to take a word. Okay, so here's the thing. If I'm looking at two gay people, okay, I know that they are widely called gay. Okay, I'm aware of that. So if I look at two gay people that are widely referred to as gay, I'm going to understand the definition of gay. So I'm going to look at this and observe, okay, two of the same sex kissing. That is what people call gay. Yes. And reality. What do you mean by reality? What do you mean by that?
Reality, reality,
What do
everything
you
that
mean?
exists.
Reality as in why is that
The
reality?
world. What?
What is
Did you just
reality? What
ask
is what
what?
is that? What is the world?
The world, the real world,
So
where we
okay,
the
well, wait, wait, wait,
universe,
wait, wait, wait.
reality.
Does every definition correspond with reality perfectly?
The yes, actually,
Oh, okay.
yes. Every definition which is logically
So do you think
possible
every
can be logically
definition works
applied.
for everybody in order to understand the world?
Well, if they can't understand the definition, then they're just stupid. Because then,
That
like
is a label. Hey, hey, oh, gosh. Oh, what is the
a
definition of idiot?
label. What's the definition of idiot? The definition of idiot it'd be you, but I don't think we can say that on this YouTube channel.
What is the
So let's
definition
go.
of idiot?
The definition of an idiot definition because I don't know. An idiot is a stupid person. An idiot is a stupid person. Two, a person having an intellectual disability. So you basically, if we were to apply it.
Wow. So an autistic person, that is an
Yeah.
idiot?
Yes, by definition.
And
You're not. I'm gonna.
a autistic person with a learning disability, is that an idiot?
By definition, yes. By definition,
So, do you think that definition corresponds with reality?
yes.
So people with understanding disabilities are idiots. So
Yes.
is the word idiot used to correspond with reality? Because I see people called idiots every day that actually aren't idiots.
But the problem is, you also because you're looking at the number two definition, which is a medicine archaic definition, and not there's also number one definition, which is a stupid person. Because you can be an quote unquote
What is the
idiot, but not
definition of
be an
stupid?
idiot. What is the definition of stupid? The
You
definition
are
of
so wrapped up in the
stupid
labels and semantics. It
definition.
actually
Yeah, but the
hinders.
yeah, but
I
the
actually think by definition, that you're
having
dedicate.
having or
One moment, one
showing
moment. If I
having
may,
or
please, Jesus Christ,
I'm gonna
Jesus
loud
Christ. One
yeah I'm
moment,
gonna
one
loud
moment, one
mic you.
moment, one moment, one moment. I think that your constant interrupting, your constant the fact that you're wrapped up so much in semantics that it actually harms the way you understand things, which I've
Because
observed
we are
through this
literally having a
conversation.
semantic
You have
debate.
come
Are
up
you an
with
idiot?
multiple conclusions. You've come up with multiple conclusions with incorrect interpretations of what I'm saying, and I
How are
think
they
that's definitely
incorrect?
a
How are they
disability.
incorrect?
I think that's a disability to understand things, and by definition, I think you're an idiot. Because I can't
By
even count the
definition.
amount of times,
By
and
definition.
by one moment, one moment, one
By
moment, if I
definition. By
may,
one moment.
interrupting hinders your ability to learn things because
Interrupting. You're quite
you are
literally
cutting
stuttering.
off
You're stuttering. You're
your
stuttering.
your input of
I'm cutting
information.
off my
So
input of
by
information, and
definition,
yet
you are an idiot.
how am I? Wait, by definition, I wouldn't necessarily be an idiot, as I'm able to conform and I'm able to form some type of logical argument using logical.
That is a ad hominem. That has nothing to do with what
How
we're
is it an
talking
ad
about. I'm
hominem?
saying
How's that an
that's the
ad
fact.
hominem?
I'm saying very simply that the fact that you interrupt
How
and the
how
fact
does
that
interrupting
your
make you an idiot by
interpretations.
definition?
I'm saying the fact that you fail
Oh.
again and again to interpret what
I
I'm
don't know if you
Okay,
want to
saying,
okay,
be here.
and the
It's
fact
crazy,
you
bro.
okay.
conclude it is like that is by definition
How's that
you're
by
an idiot.
how's
Like
by how's wait. Hold on. First off, I don't know. You're just kind of yapping. Secondly, how does that correspond to the semantic definition? Go ahead. You just gave an
Oh,
argument,
you
but
like
that argument doesn't
cyberpunk? Nice.
necessarily
a failure of
correlate.
understanding,
A
a disability
failure
of
of
understanding.
understanding. A failure of understanding. The problem is you'd have to argue that I failed to understand the argument in which I have
I definitely
adequately
think you failed to
attacked it.
understand the argument multiple
Oh, that's
times.
you. Oh, that's you. I mean, like this entire
No, no,
thing's
no,
on
no, no.
recording. It's not on
Definitely
YouTube.
you. You
You
have
can
come
have a
up with
judge.
multiple conclusions that are
Multiple
radically different
conclusions.
from what I'm
Uh,
saying.
from radically different. How they
So even
I don't
if it
necessarily
is a
think they're
problem,
radically
so
different.
one moment, even if it's a problem with my communication and I'm being dumb with how I'm talking, it is
Uh,
still, by definition, you are coming up with conclusions with very little
conclusions.
information.
Very little
You guys could
information is
For
also
very
both
failure
be
to
idiots.
understand.
But yeah, coming from the person who quite literally said that they wouldn't read the scans I send in chat, this is very interesting. I mean, you quite literally admitted to the fact that you won't read the information in which I'd
Bro,
be
what are you
sending.
even talking about? No
Yeah,
offense.
And then
wait, hold on.
you said
Wait,
Jesus.
that the reason that
wait.
depressed was an idiot was because they kept interrupting, and then you kept interrupting them. So
Yeah,
then by
I mean,
default, you'll make you an idiot as
uh,
well.
oh yeah, you're an
Okay,
idiot as
fine.
well,
I'm an
GG's.
idiot.
You're next.
Fine.
Yeah,
Like, I'll
GG's.
take
Yeah,
it.
You do realize that my entire argument
I
is
bet
that
you
basically
will.
what you're going under is correspondence theory, that things are going to be corresponding to reality via the things that we experience, which is what you said. I'm arguing that what you said is
Okay.
correspondence
Then if
theory.
that
Everything,
definition is correct, then I agree. I'm
which
with
means
correspondence theory.
which means I'd win because that's my entire point.
Win,
Is
bro.
that every
One moment. One moment. You're not focused on like winning, are
yeah
you? You're focused on
no,
you
I'm
are.
focused
Maze,
on
That's
run while
winning
you can.
insanely immature.
Run
because
while you
I think you
can.
are
I'm
actually
trying
trying
to
to
prove
understand
something.
me rather than win.
Oh no, I do understand you. I just think everything you've said so
I
far
don't
is
think you. No, no.
stupid.
I think you've failed to understand me multiple times.
The problem is you just agreed to my conclusion, so I don't need to. I said everything that because
No, no, no.
hold on.
I think your conclusion. No, no, no.
All right, so I'm gonna just local. See, everyone in the audience, you do realize that I'm arguing that his argument is under correspondence theory. By him agreeing to that argument, that therefore means that not only am I able to properly understand what he is saying by giving it some type of definition, but I am also able to label it. If you're able to label something and give it a definition, then the opponent agrees to said definition, then therefore the person who gave the definition in the first place has to understand it because that is a necessary requirement.
What is your
Like
conclusion? What does your conclusion conclude? First of
my
all.
conclusion
Second
concludes
of
that
all,
you follow correspondence theory. That's it.
okay, but what
All right,
does that
hold on. Let's
conclude?
solve this.
The
Let's
fact that
solve
I
this real
follow
quick. Let's solve
correspondence
this real
theory by
quick.
your definition.
Let's solve this real quick. You guys both send traps.
I'm sorry, what?
One moment.
Yeah, yo, shut up. Yo, shut up. Shut up,
No,
shut
I'm
up,
saying
shut
one
up,
moment,
shut up.
one moment. I'm saying the fact that
Did it
I'm under
work? Can
correspondence
we try
theory,
this? Can we
what are
try
you
this?
winning? What is the goal? How does that degrade what I'm saying? What are you concluding there? What are you
What
winning?
am I
The
what am
fact
I
that I'm
Send
under
trap?
correspondence theory.
Well, the fact that you're under correspondence theory then goes back to the filler of the mind thing about whether or not the mind can be whether or not the mind is abstract or physical. Because we still have to go back to that original point. We've been on the side point for hours, low can even on
I
the
know, but one
side
moment. I'm
point.
trying to ask you. One moment. I'm trying to ask you something. Do you think there's fact like when you're
Man,
talking
why
about
do I
whether you
look
think the
like my
mind is
mom from
physical
House Parents?
or
What the hell?
abstract, are you going to be discussing facts, opinions, observations? What are you going to be doing?
Hopeless, what would you
Facts,
say?
in fact, you do realize that. Okay, wait,
I'm,
hold on. You do
I'm
realize
just
that
looking at
half
you.
of what you
I'm not
said could
even.
be just boiled down to two of those
We're
words,
not
but I'm
even
just
in
gonna
this
ignore that for
discussion
now.
for real.
I know.
One moment.
I
I
Secondly,
lowered
don't
them a
even know what
bit.
they're
No, no,
talking
no. I
about.
asked you a question.
I
I
don't
was
know
asking
either.
you
I was
on what
mildly
basis are you
entertained,
observing
and
the
the
I
other
think
dude who
the
was
mind?
in the
I'm
other chat
saying,
just wasn't talking
Okay,
at
are
I
you
all.
must
going to
be the only
be
one who was lost.
observing it with facts, like the
Yeah.
biological aspects
No,
of the
I don't know
brain
either.
the
and
bio.
the
Okay,
All I
I'm
know
not
is
talking
that they
about
were
the
calling each other, well,
biological
not even them,
aspects.
each other.
I'm not talking
so
about
do
the.
you know
I'm talking
anything
about the
about the
the one
philosophy.
biological
with the
part of the
not
brain?
cartoon profile
The
picture was
problem
calling the other one
is,
idiot for some
the
reason.
problem is,
I don't know why.
This
this
I
looks
think they were
like
entire
the
arguing about
thing
like
House
a
is
of
a
meaning system.
philosophical,
Cards.
is a philosophical conversation, which means we're going to be talking about the
No, it is not. It is
philosophical.
the
Hmm.
The
entirety of not is not is
I like
philosophical.
your profile.
bro,
Is
what do
Do
you
you
think
like Cyberpunk too?
abstraction is? What do you think abstractions are,
I'm saying it
bro?
is
Wrong
abstraction
with
to a
these.
degree, but you have to. One moment, it is not purely abstraction though, because you have to keep in mind the physical, biological sequences that cause
Bro, what do you
thoughts, that
think
cause
the
memories.
mind is, bro? Okay, wait. Do you think? Oh, okay,
Okay,
wait. What do you think the mind?
so
What do
the
you think the
mind.
mind is?
What do you mean by mind? Do you think of memory, thought production, thought process? Like what by the like which aspect of the brain?
Is the mind? The mind is the totality of psychological phenomena and capacities, encompassing both conscious and unconscious states. What do you
So consciousness and memory, basically.
consciousness and memory? Yeah. Do you think
So
that? Do you think
consciousness and
that?
memory. So yeah,
Do you think
what
that?
are you saying?
Actually, no. I just continue. Just continue. I'm hold that
Okay,
thought.
so here's the thing. So you know the optic lobe, um, perceiving reality around you. So do you
Sure.
know when you take a piece of clay and you press it against a piece of newspaper and it leaves a little print on the clay? You
Okay.
know how to do that? So
No,
did you know
I've
that the
never played
optic
with
lobe
clay.
actually works very similar to that? It is taking in your environments around you, almost how a camera reflects light into its lens. That is what the human eye is doing. very light
Interesting.
level. So that is biological. So when you're taking in your surroundings around you, you may be wondering, how do you have memory? How do you keep that in your memory banks, basically, what you
Okay.
perceived. Um, there is a biological process to that too. It is every single time you perceive something, your brain changes just a little bit. Okay? So there is a biological aspect. So if you're going to get very abstract, you're going to have to accept the fact that the abstraction affects the biology, and the biology will effectively dictate the abstraction.
So that would just be
So
like,
you just
yeah, that'd just be emergent process. That'd just be an emergent process.
yeah, well, you're having to accept that you cannot argue about one over the other. You have to talk about
What
the
this
biological process
discussion?
and the abstraction at the same time, because they correspond with each other and they affect each other. And I abstraction the abstraction part will have to be dictated by biology, because it is what you perceive, and perception is biological.
No
What
perception is
what the fuck is
biological.
the topic
Oh,
of
we're
this
having
very
a
confusing?
yeah, we're having
Perception,
a
the biological
philo.
process of perceiving is biological.
Yeah.
W-
Um.
What is being perceived?
Yeah.
I don't
I
really
just
understand.
asked your opinion, and you said that you basically gave like an emergent argument upon the fact that if there's going to be some type of abstraction, that abstraction must also be dictated by some type of physical processes, which is the actual brain, the tissue, neurons, and all that. That's uh that's
Hmm.
sufficient.
Exactly.
That's literally all I wanted to know is your opinion.
Yeah, and okay, so you know that it's my opinion.
Yeah, I know that is your opinion,
Okay.
or at least your idea.
Exactly. So I was just establishing the idea that there is no definition perfectly. Like there's no like nobody will truly understand how the abstraction relates to the biological process. So that was what I was trying to establish in the beginning, in
Yeah,
that
the reason
subject.
the reason why we no is because you kind of said a bunch of stuff that would necessarily lead to like a different like alter. That's
Not
SpongeBob
exactly. You
joining me.
responded to what I was saying. Um, about when I said that my definition was not going to be objective, and that everybody's idea of the abstraction would be subjective, you said something about it jumped into that whole conversation about subjectivity and the subjectivity involving definitions. So I think it was definitely you sort of derived it by commenting on how I said it would be subjective, my idea of the abstraction.
Your
So no,
idea of
I
the
did not just say a
abstraction,
bunch of stuff.
and that is recording